Hello, everybody. This morning, here we are again with our Beginners Zentangle Learn With Me series. I am having so much fun with this. I'm having so much fun looking up different tangles and different ideas, and I'm looking at different instructors or teachers or whatever, just to see what all I can learn. Well, as I was scrolling through, I found this gentleman. It's called Mr. News Art Class. And these are my little notes that I took while I was watching his class. But what he teaches is he teaches different this one he's teaching just very basic if you're going to make your own Zentangle. You want to create your own Zentangle. So I'm going to kind of recreate that right now. And but I have got below the video a link to the very same video that I watched, so you can watch him do it. So you can watch me do it, but then go watch him do it the right way. And so, but it's fun, but it's just to kind of show you that I am learning. Like, for instance, this here one, as you can see, it's different. I went around with my marker and I just made a tangle. Just had all these so I had different sizes all in there. And well, then I have another one here somewhere too, but oh, there it is right there. See there? And then this one I did my tangles a little bit different. And then I went around here and I didn't know. I did the outside like this, and I didn't know those were called auras. And so I learned that from this gentleman. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I started the video already once, and then I had a phone call and I had to stop. But what I had went through so far is the different strings. So when you start your Zentangle, you have strings. The strings divide your tangle into different sections of different shapes. And so the first one he showed us was the wavy. And so it's just a wavy line that goes from one side to the other. The second one he shows us is the curve, where it's just almost like a hill. It's a curve. The third one he showed us was a closed loop. So as you see, that one goes around and down, and you get a loop in there. Then the next one he shows was an open loop. And so it's a loop again, but it's open. Then this one he called a bouncing string. Bouncing string. So what it looks like is somebody threw a ball here, it hit the ground and went back up. Kind of reminds me of a video game. And then here he had one that he just had nothing. It's just open. Okay, so those were the six that he shows on his video. And I do encourage you to go watch him because I learned a lot, and I know that I can tell you what I learned, but when you watch him actually, then you're going to even get more out of it. Okay, so then, let's see. He showed us how, let me see, he uses, well, he doesn't use that feather. He uses a bold marker, a Sharpie, and then a fine Sharpie, which I found that I had this Sharpie pen, which is a finer liner Sharpie pen, different than the other little Sharpies. But anyway, I'm using that. And then he uses a pencil. I still have my broken pencil. I kind of call this my lucky pencil. It's broken, but it still works. So I'm using that one as my lucky pencil. So, okay, what he did first was he showed us, okay, like on here, he did a wavy line. So you want to just do what he did was triangles. So he used his broad line marker and he just put triangles just here and there on only one side of the wavy line. Okay, then he went and he made, with the finer tip, he made smaller, never touching the lines on the outside. He didn't touch any of the lines. He left them all free floating, but just made a whole lot of more. Well, he didn't make as many as I'm making here because I think he had smaller triangles. And they don't have to be triangles. You could put hearts or anything. And so that's what he did there. Then he went in and he called, oh, I didn't write that down. He put a little, on one corner of each of his triangles, the big ones, he put just a little extra mark there, just on the big ones. And then he took his pencil for shading, and then he just colored in everything that is not a triangle. So he's going all the way around the triangles. And that does, like he said, it makes those triangles just really pop. And so I'm thinking if you use this is just a regular number 2 pencil. And probably if you use like a regular, like a drawing pencil, they have different leads in them that maybe something would work better. I don't know. I think he just used a regular number 2 pencil. H2, I think it's called. Yeah, this is a 2. Number 2 pencil, which is your basic pencil that you use in school. And so then you just color in that whole section with that pencil, and then that gives it that shading, and it allows those triangles to pop, to really look like you just lifted them up. And it looks like they're floating. And so that's all there is to that particular one. And then you up on this side, you would do something different, but we call that the wavy string. Now then here he showed a curve. Now on the curve, he showed the curve, but he also showed how the aura works. And so here, and then he used like a broad marker and make a circle, and then let's put one up here, and then you can make a partial one that is kind of growing off of the page, and then we'll put a partial one over here. Okay, then what he does, then he's going to teach us how to do what he calls the aura, A-U-R-A, aura. And so then took the fine liner and just put a circle around, So you just imagine that it's the whole thing, the whole circle. And so you put the circle around. So I got to put a head on there and it'd have a turtle. So see, there you go. And then he goes again. Now he doesn't keep putting circles around the same one. He does one, put a circle, goes to another one, the circle. And then you'll see why. And then we're going to go with another circle, so each one of these will have two. Now see, this third one, this one that I just did, I won't be able to do a whole nother one because it's already to the edge. Okay, so then, but I can go and do a partial circle. So there goes the aura again. I love that word aura. I think that's so pretty. And I am able to fit a whole circle here. And now here I can't really fit a whole nother circle. I will not fit another circle right here. I can put one right on this one. And that'll fit in there. But now I can't fit anymore. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around up to here and then come back around to here and then down. You see, because I can't go in the middle anymore because there's no room there. So then I will go with this one the same way. And then here, I'll go see that far, and then I'll bounce around and go like this. And then this one will just have just a small little, almost a V there. And then here again, I can put that here. I can go up here. And you're just completing the auras. And use that arc, that curve is your stopping point. So then here you can see there's a little space there for still there. And here is a little space there. Okay, I can put another little piece right there. So you're mimicking that line there. So there you have the auras around those circles. And then what he showed us was he went every other one. He didn't go with the very next aura around the black spot. He skipped one line and went to the next. Okay? So he did that on all of them. And then this, by going in with the shading, see, that's not something that I had heard yet on any of the other Tangle artists. I hadn't heard about the shading of an aura. So then this is new to me, and I'm seeing that I'm not really, I don't know if I made, which he tells you there is no mistakes. There is never any mistakes, but I'm noticing here that I can't go to this one because it's right next to this one. So, and since he said there's no mistakes, then that means I'm just going to go right here and it's perfect. And then I am still kind of going every other one. And so every other one of those is shaded. And it gives you like, now see this one here, I'm going to be shading right there next to the black spot because that's just how it worked out. Okay, and then he went over to the closed loop. And on the closed loop, he didn't do anything in the loop yet. Now see, all of these are ready. These two are ready for something new. But he went to the closed loop, and what he showed us there was he made some triangles. And of course, you know, they don't have to be triangles. They can be whatever your little heart desires. But here he was talking about contrast. So I have got now some triangles here. I mean, them aren't triangles. Those are rectangles. You have to understand, I'm 70 years old and my tongue gets wrapped around my eye teeth. I can't see what I'm saying. Okay, and then he went with these squiggly lines. He just started putting squiggly lines with his finer marker pencil, but he jumped over, like he would get to the triangle, I mean the rectangle, but he wouldn't put the squiggly line on the rectangle. He let that squiggly line jump over or go under. He was saying jump over. I said I thought they looked like they was going under. So, and then just continue those squiggly lines. Now, whenever you watched his video, and he's pleasant to listen to as well. You all know I like people who are pleasant to listen to. I don't do well with people who feel like their way is the right way and anybody else say anything it's wrong. That bothers me. So I can't watch them. And so this guy is very, very good, and he lets you know that it's your art and what you come up with is right. Because you might start out doing something different and you know trying to follow somebody's directions and yours comes out completely different. Well, then that's your art. It's not wrong. It's just yours. And so here I'm doing that little jiggly line all the way down, and it looks like it does make those rectangles then pop. And then he shaded them. So he said, imagine the sun being right up here in the corner or over in the corner, where whichever corner you want the sun coming up. And then you just kind of make another rectangle, it looks like, to the side and below. So on each one of those rectangles. And then you just color it in with your pencil. You can still see the squiggly lines underneath. And it just makes it look like a shadow, like the sun is casting a shadow on or the moon shadow, moon shadow. We could put a sun on each one of these doors. I mean, a moon. They'd look like outhouses. Just kidding about that, but you could. See where my mind goes? My mind is weird. And there, now each one of them. Oh, I didn't give this guy a shade, a shadow. And there, see? So then that's another way. Then he went to the open loop. The open loop, he showed us how to do he kind of called it like an overpass. Like an overpass. Okay, so what we do first here is we just draw from one side to the other, and then you're going to go parallel with another one. And then you can go, then start opposite, you know, an opposite way, and make the same kind of parallel lines, but don't cross over that one you made. But then you finish it to the edge this way. And then you can make, and this you can just keep going. You can, you know, however big your piece is or whatnot, you can just keep going. And each one looks like it's under, over. The first one you do is going to be on the top, and then you can go like here, then maybe I'll go under this one. So I'll make, and see, it looks like it just went under. And then he colored in all of the space that wasn't a highway. He called them highways, I think. Interstates. Whatever. Big roads. Okay. Okay, so all of these pieces that are not pieces of the highway, he colored them in. Now you can color them in, or you could do all polka dots on them, or anything. You can, you don't have to color them in solid. And if you're doing multicolors, you know, you might want to just do it all green and make it look like green grass. Now, see, if you go watch him now, you go watch him, and if I made any mistakes, you let me know. You give me a grade on what I learned. Make sure I did okay. These markers smell horrible, I'm telling you. Okay, and so then that is that colored in. Now all you see is those crossing roads. You see the crossroads. But then he did the shadowing, again, the shading, where on each piece that goes underneath, he shaded just where it starts going underneath. Just shade. Don't shade the whole thing, just where it goes underneath. This first one you put won't have any shading on it. Just the piece that looks like it's going underneath. And then once you do that, it actually lifts this one up. It looks like you just lifted it up, because that shadow, that shading that you put on there, makes you look like you could actually drive right underneath. You could drive right underneath. This is the main street right here. Okay, then when he worked on his bouncing string here, he made what he called a branch. Okay, one thing he talked about. Okay, I got some notes up there that I'm not really understanding. I'm gonna have to watch him again, because I wrote a few words down here, like I wrote down juxtaposition and the shadow drop. That's what it makes it look like, it dropped, the shadow. The juxtaposition, now I don't remember what he said that was. So I'm gonna have to watch it again just to, then I wrote merging down there. I don't know why I wrote merging either. Okay. See, so I don't catch everything. So I'm just showing you what I did catch from it. And hopefully you all will catch even more. So then he started making like a branch pattern, he calls it, like an upside down teardrop. He did that way. And then he did the upside down teardrop, and then he went and made another one. And, well, that's not exactly how he did it, but, and then here I've got another V. So I'm going to make that another one in there, and then in that V I'll start another one, and keep making some more. And you can keep going, even like you're going to be, he ran off his page even. He went up and he ran off his page like this. So if you're actually doing something like that, then excuse me, what you need, hon?
Oh, I didn't come in for a reason.
Oh, you didn't come for a particular reason?
No. You got any packages to go out?
No, I don't have any packages to go out today.
I just stuck my head in more than anything else. Say hi.
Oh, okay. Howdy to you, darling. Okay, so now he got these here. They kind of look like a leaf. And then what he did was he went and he just drew a line down the center of each leaf, about half the leaf, only about half, or the teardrop, or whatever you want to call. He just did that. And then he made just a couple of dots above, but didn't go above the line, but didn't go all the way to the edge of the leaf. And it gives it a fun look. And so I'm just putting 3 dots above each one of those leaves. Leaves. See there? And if you could fill this whole thing up, or you could leave part of it blank. You can, that it's your artwork. So these looking like leaves, maybe I might put a flower over here and put petals on the flower. I don't know. Then when he did his open, he called this one his open. Then he okay, he said a pattern inside of a pattern, high contrast. Okay, so what he did here was he made the checkerboard. Okay, so he's got a checkerboard going there. And then on every other one, he did, okay, did he call this something else? He called this something else, but he want everyone else. I gotta watch it again and write me some new notes so I can remember. And what he did here with his lighter, finer pen, every other one, he just mimicked that square, a little smaller each one inside. And so when you're on the edge squares, don't go up and make a triangle. Just kind of imagine that you have a whole square and the rest of it is just hiding. And so you will go and do that on every other one. I found that this little bit of a practice is a lot of fun, and what this is going to do is give you more ideas of how to come up with your own tangles. And then you don't have to worry about copyrights, infringements, and stuff like that. It's just you're making your own here. And if you just happen to come up with something just like somebody else has, well, just oh well. Just oh well. That's all I can say about that. Okay. And then he wanted to do something a little bit that will contrast with what he just did. So then he took these little branch patterns and he did in the opposite corners. Then he went up with some branches. And then you can get them going in any direction. And it's whatever you decide is going to look good to you. It doesn't have to look good to the mailman or the Fuller Brush man. You just don't have to worry about that. And so, and then they don't even all have to be the same. They don't all have to be this way, but I'm doing them this way because that's the way he did it. But I'm going to play a lot now. Now that he has given me permission, I feel like Mr. What did we say, Mr. News? I felt like he gave me permission to just be my own artist. No artist got to be any kind of famous by copying somebody else's art. All our famous artists became famous because they came up with something that was different and special. So then that's going to be the same thing with our Zentangles. And so then on his, he colored in those little tangles, those little branches. So I'm going to do just the same way. And then you'll see how the contrast between the two different patterns you've got going in the same tangle. And then see, once you really start doing, I notice some people, all they do is just simple squares, and everything is a square, and then they don't go any further than that. But then some actually do a whole tangle where the tangle is so beautiful. I still haven't found my I've got so many things packed away, but I have a art journal that I took with me on the ship when we went on a cruise. And the it seems like the whole crew was, like, I think Philippines, maybe they were from, I don't know, they were from someplace else. But one of the staff members saw what I was doing, and he says, "Can I draw you one?" Because he did them. And I said, "Oh, please do." And so he drew one, and he went so quickly and drew one, and it turned out so beautiful. And so I want to show you that one as soon as I find my book, which I know I'll find my book, but it's our cruise was like 5 years ago, so that was a nice cruise. We went on the Caribbean cruise. But at the time we went out there, there was also a hurricane in the Gulf, so we couldn't go to the Grand Caymans, which was the plan. We went somewhere else. We went to Cozumel, and then we went to Porto Pringo or something it was called. I don't remember. I should have had one right there. Okay, there we go. And then you can go with your pencil and do the shading in your I'm afraid my pencil is going to break pretty soon. It's getting a little bit loose there in the where it's cracked. I just love my. I guess I could put a piece of tape there. So I'm just going to just shade those little squares there. But this here exercise was just something to teach us, really, if you're going in and starting to make your own tangles. And this is also to let you know that there is no right and there's no wrong. And so it's whatever comes out of your pencil or your pens is right. Oh, I needed to make one more little space right there. And then that's it. That is what I learned. And this is what, I mean, go ahead and watch him. You will enjoy it. It's only a 30-minute video, so it doesn't take up your whole day. And I think you'll enjoy him. I have not went and watched any of his others yet, but I'm going to see what else he's got. But I put the link below. But these are just teaching us basically the strings, the different strings. And he says, and also he says, lose yourself in the process, because that is the Zen part of doing this art, is losing yourself in the process, not worrying about what your finished project will be, but you're just losing yourself in the process.
Oh, no.
Okay, thank you.
You want some now? You
Put in the refrigerator, please. Thank you. And my husband's always trying to feed me. He brought me some watermelon. I told him put in the refrigerator. I'd have some later. He's just always trying to spoil me more rottener than I'm already in. But anyway, that's it. And I'm going to watch him again because a couple of the things, because he talked about the juxtaposition and he talked about merging. Okay, the aura I got, the depth with the shading I got, the strings I got, but now I done forgot what the juxtaposition was. And the shadow drop is what he was talking about on here. And no right, no wrong way in Zentangle, and repeating patterns. But you'll learn even more by watching him because this is just basically what he did. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm glad for all you that just keep coming back. It is, you all are amazing and you all warm my heart. You all just warm my heart. So heart thoughts is we're going to have, let's see, Father's Day is coming. Here it says, I have loving compassion for my father. Sunday is Father's Day. And so my father was my hero. He is now still my hero in heaven. The father of my children was a hero. He is now a hero from heaven. But so but then my hubster now, he basically fathered my youngest son because when my husband passed away, Billy's father, Billy was only like 11. And so then my hubster now had a lot to do with the raising of my youngest son. And my youngest son turned out amazing. And so I give a lot of that credit to my husband. So even though he's not the biological father, like Billy has said, my son, he says, he is my father because I don't remember. He remembers his dad, but he doesn't remember him ever being well because he had early onset Alzheimer's disease. And as much as my son can remember, because he had the disease like 5 years before he passed, so as much as my son can remember, he was already sick. So he doesn't have any real memories of his biological father. So he thinks of Richard, my husband now, as his dad. And so we'll definitely shower him on Father's Day too. But anyway, here, this is about fathers. It says, how are you treating your parents and grandparents? What you give out is what you are going to get when you grow older. I have loving compassion for my father. If you have any stuff with your father, do a meditation in your mind and talk with him so that you can clean up any old issues. Forgive him and forgive yourself. Let him that Tell him that you love him just as he is. Get cleaned up in your mind so that you can move into feeling more deserving of all that is good. So here it is, they're talking about if you have issues with your father, you want to you want to clean that up. I hear a lot of people say forgive and forget, and forgetting is just about impossible. It doesn't ever clear your mind. Once you've lived something, it's there forever. So thank God I did have a good relationship with my father, and so I don't have anything that I have to clean up. But there are a lot of people that have not had. There's a lot of single moms out there, and the fathers are maybe deadbeats or something. I don't know. I shouldn't say that, but your father is your father, no matter what. Your father is your father, and there has to be some little part of you that accepts him for who he is. And so that's just my little soapbox derby for today. But I want to ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make, and you plan your own Zentangles. Don't just only do what you see and copy. Do something that something that just you feel like doing. I'm going to finish all of these. I'll probably do this today and see what comes up. But I just want to say God bless you all. May He watch over you every step you take, every move you make. And I will see you on the next video. God bless.